Yeah.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So let us welcome Srinivas Acharya Prabhu with 3 loud Hari Bols. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can somebody pass control to me so I can share screen?
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji,
Yes,
I can hear you.
yes,
Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji. I have to make an announcement that class is early actually. A lot of people join only for your class. So just let them know. Yeah, you can start, Prabhuji. And in the meantime, I'll inform.
Prabhuji, yeah, Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Prabhuji, can I get the control to share my screen?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Done, Prabhuji.
Okay, everybody can see my screen, right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Wonderful. Okay, let me zoom this a little bit. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is your servant Srinivas Acharya Das. Today, on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, the Signs of God, and Chapter 14, which is entitled Ideal Family Life, and the text number 10.
Prabhuji, louder.
Okay, Prabhuji, can everybody can we mute everybody else, or I have to do that? I will probably mute everybody and unmute myself.
Prabhuji, I'll take care of that. I've done it, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Trivargam Nati Kruchena. Somebody reading, Prabhuji?
No, go ahead, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So Trivargam Nati Kruchena. Bhajeta Gruhamedhyapi.
Bhajeta Gruhamedhyapi.
Yada Desham Yada Kalam.
Yadha desham kalam
Yavadhaivo Papaditam.
yavadaivopapadhitam
Trivargam Nati Kruchena.
vargam nati krichena
Bhajeta Gruhamedhyapi.
ajeta
Yada Desham Yada Kalam.
yada desham yada kalam
Yavadhaivopapadhitam.
yavadaivopapadhitam
Vivargam Nati Kruchrena.
vivargam nati krichena
Ajeta Gruhamedhyapi.
ajeta
Yada Desham Yada Kalam.
yadha desham yada kalam
Yavadhaivopapadhitam. Vivargam.
Vargam.
Three principles, namely religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification.
Key principles, namely
Namely religiosity, economic development, and
Development and
economic
sense
development
gratification.
and sense gratification.
Na,
Na,
not.
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 Atikruchrena,
Atikrutena,
Then,
by very severe endeavor.
by
very
severe
very severe
endeavor.
endeavor.
Bhajeta,
Bhajeta,
Vajeta
should execute.
should execute.
should execute.
Gruhamedhi, a person interested only in family life.
A person
Person interested
Only
only in
family life.
life.
Api,
be
although.
Although
Yada desham,
Adesham
according to the place.
according to
according to
the
the place.
Yada kalam,
Yatha
according to the time.
according to the time.
Yavat,
Yavat
as much as.
as
as
Daiva, by the grace of the Lord.
by the
grace of the Lord.
the Lord.
Upapaditam,
Paditam
obtained.
obtained.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhaya Charanaravindha Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Translation. Even if one is a householder rather than a brahmachari, a sannyasi or a vanaprastha, one should not endeavor very hard for religiosity, economic development or satisfaction of the senses. Even in householder life, one should be satisfied to maintain body and soul together with whatever is available, minimum endeavor, according to place and time, by the grace of the Lord. One should not engage oneself in ugra karma. End of translation and purport. In human life, there are 4 principles to be fulfilled: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. First, one should be religious, observing various rules and regulations, and then one must earn some money for maintenance of his family and the satisfaction of his senses. The most important ceremony for sense gratification is marriage, because sexual intercourse is one of the principal necessities of the material body. And maidunadi gruhamedi sukham hi tucham. Although sexual intercourse is not very exalted requisite in life, both animals and men require some sense gratification because of material propensities. One should be satisfied with married life and not expend the energy for extra sense gratification or sex life. As for the economic development, the responsibility for this should be entrusted mainly to the Vaisyas and Grihasthas. Human society should be divided into Varnas and Ashramas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, Sudra, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. Economic development is necessary for the Grihasthas. Brahmana Grihasthas should be satisfied with a life of Adhyayana, Adhyapana, Yajna, and Yajana. Being learned scholars, teaching others to be scholars, learning how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, and also teaching others how to worship Lord Vishnu or even the demigods. A Brahmana should do this without remuneration, but he is allowed to accept charity from a person whom he teaches how to be a human being. As for the Kshatriyas, they are supposed to be the kings of the land. The land should be distributed to the Vaisyas for agricultural activities, cow protection, and trade. Sudras must work. Sometimes they should engage in occupational duties as cloth manufacturers, weavers, blacksmiths, goldsmiths, brassmiths, and so on, or else they should engage in hard labor to produce food grains. These are the different occupational duties by which men should earn their livelihood, and in this way, human society should be simple. At the present moment, however, everyone is engaged in technological advancement, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as Ugra Karma. One more time, Prabhuji, for my own purification. At the present moment, however, everyone is engaged in technological advancement, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as Ugra Karma, extremely severe endeavor. This Ugra Karma is the cause of agitation within the human mind. Men are engaging in many sinful activities and becoming degraded by opening slaughterhouses, breweries, and cigarette factories, as well as nightclubs and other establishments for sense enjoyment. In this way, they are spoiling their lives. In all of these activities, of course, householders are involved, and therefore it is advised here with the use of word api that even though one is a householder, one should not engage himself in severe hardships. One's means of livelihood should be extremely simple. As for those who are not grihasthas, the brahmacharis, vanaprasthas, and sannyasis, they do not have to do anything but strive for advancement in spiritual life. This means that the 3/4 of the entire population should stop sense gratification and simply be engaged in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. Only 1/4 of the population should be grihastha. And that should be according to laws of restricted sense gratification. The grihasthas, vanaprasthas, brahmacharis, and sannyasis should endeavor together with their total energy to become Krishna conscious. This type of civilization is called Daivi Varnashrama. One of the objectives of the Krishna consciousness movement is to establish this Daiva Varnashrama, but not to encourage so-called Varnashrama without scientifically organized endeavor by human society. The purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Cha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyacha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, Prabhuji and Mataji, today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 14, and text number 10. Trivargham Nati Kruchrena Bhajeta Gruhamedhyapi Yadadesam Yada Kalam Yavad Daivo Papaditham. First of all, let me acknowledge Prabhuji and Mataji I do not have any qualification to speak before all of you. So if I say any few good words, it is because of the mercy of my spiritual master. And if I say anything otherwise, it is because of my own conditioning. Pam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat krupadam aham vande Sri Gurun Ramananda Madhavam. Even if one is householder rather than a brahmachari, a sannyasi, or a vanaprastha, one should not endeavor very hard for religiosity, economic development, or satisfaction of the senses. Even in householder life, one should be satisfied to maintain body and soul together with whatever is available with minimum endeavor, according to place and time. By the grace of the Lord, one should not engage oneself in quote unquote ugra karma. 550 years ago, the greatest questions that a living entity ever asked the Supreme Personality of Godhead have been asked. And the living entity was none other than Srila Sanatana Goswami and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sanatana Goswami put a blade of grass between his teeth and fell at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He asked, who am I and why I am suffering? Just to answer these questions, Krishna comes again and again into this material world. He sends his most intimate associates, and he gives scriptures, and he provides so many avenues. He performs pastimes. Just to get the suffering living entities in the material world to the point of asking these two questions, so that he can provide support, enlightenment, and eventually take them back to the spiritual world. Krishna comes again and again, does so many leelas. So when Sanatana Goswami asked those questions, and Lord Chaitanya consequently replied, and those were recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And we all know that some of us, at least some of you, have read through that wonderful conversation, not only between Sanatana Goswami and Lord Chaitanya, but other Goswamis as well, other great exalted devotees in Chaitanya Leela. But coming to post Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, those questions remained as pertinent as they were. That the living entity continues to suffer in material world without a respite. And there is practically very little or no gap between each suffering. Continuous suffering in this material world. And why is that? That was the Sanatana Goswami's question. And in order to answer some of these questions, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita that the suffering will go away when one takes up the pure devotional service. But in order to take up that pure devotional service, there is a process. And that process must be executed within the framework of Varnashram Dharma. Chaturvarnam maya srashtam gunakarma vibhagasaha. So Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 13. Chaturvarnam maya srashtam gunakarma vibhagasaha. So that is the textbook definition of Daivi Varnashrama Dharma. And of course, in Kali Yuga, whatever we have seen executing in Varnashram, in the name of Varna, so-called Varnashram Dharma, that is also referred by Srila Prabhupada as Asuri Varnashram Dharma. Because the original Daivi Varnashram Dharma is based on guna and karma, not janma. And when it is not on those two principles, it is called asuri, the demoniac demonstration of original varnashram dharma. But the point here is the devotional service can be executed only when somebody is following, or a society is following the varnashram dharma as it was, because in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, in 13th verse, it is explained that atah pumbir dvijashreshta varnasrama vibhagasah swanishtitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshana. The goal, as Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Goswamis, Shat Goswamis, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether it is Ramchandra or in the Lord Narasimha, whoever that is, the supreme goal is always perform pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So, atah pumbir dvijashreshta varnasrama vibhagasah swanishtitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. The goal should be haritoshanam, to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And how that should be pleased? Within the framework of varnashrama dharma, and that is also Daivi varnashrama dharma. So that is explained here in this purport, that while following those rules and regulations of varnashrama dharma, we should be guarding ourselves against the unwanted things, and what is the right framework and what is not, and what we should do and what we should not do, do's and don'ts. So in the first paragraph of the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains in very detail. These are probably very instructive, but deep, but lightweight, out of Prabhupada's slokas. So in the first two paragraphs, Srila Prabhupada explains the Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Okay? Out of dharma, the kama, moksha, one should do it in such a mode that we should not be carried over by the maintenance of the family or the sense gratification, but the end goal is haritoshanam, to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is very well explained in the Nectar of Instruction. And for my own purification, Prabhuji and Mataji, let me read this second verse from Srila Rupa Goswami's very wonderful book. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyam cha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. Translation: once a devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following 6 activities. So these 6 are don'ts. Okay. So first of all, we need to understand these so that we don't get anywhere close to those. So these are the don'ts. So the first one is eating more than necessary, or collecting more funds than required. Today's verse that I am speaking is centered around collecting more funds, and Srila Prabhupada explains in very detail. And of course, it is also stressed the second point, which is over endeavoring, working so hard to get that extra funds probably that we may never need. Over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. Number 3, talking unnecessarily about the mundane subject matters. Number 4, practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. Number 5, associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And 6, being greedy for mundane achievements. Okay, so here Srila Rupa Goswami cautions us collecting more funds and overending to do that. is detrimental to devotional service, that Haritoshanam. So here Srila Prabhupada explains here that first one should be religious, observing rules and regulations, but one should keep in mind that sense gratification is not the goal. And Srila Prabhupada in various other scriptures, he explains that sense gratification is more intensely available for all other species, but not for human beings. So we should be very cautious and just take only so much as to keep the body and soul together. And Manu, who is our forefather, has compiled very detailed literature that eventually became a law book for humankind. And out of his work, which has thorough reference to the scriptures, he explains about the Varnashram Dharma, how one should conduct their life in a very detailed way. But coming into Kali Yuga, the people have become so self-centered and godless society. We developed so many isms, basically trashing these great scriptures given by Manu Smriti, and how one should, how a householder should conduct their life, how they should take care of the environment, and what is required and what is not required. But today's context is, I want to bring Manu into discussion just to stress the fact that if anybody is interested, that the Varnashram Dharma, Srila Prabhupada explained that when he set on the goal of spreading Krishna consciousness, and he explained that 50% of his goal is to establish Varnashram Dharma. So he established he established many farm communities, so that the 4 varnas, 4 ashramas can probably at least they can be executed on a smaller scale, that was inspiring others to follow. So those farm communities, through that, even though he was not able to spend a whole lot of time in bringing that Varnashram Dharma in a much more elaborate way, but he kept on explaining the intricacies of this and the importance of that Varnashram Dharma. So in the second paragraph, the economic development, just what I just described, that Srila Rupa Goswami explains, over endeavoring, right? So that should be very, that is a very difficult difficult to resist, because if one is progressing in career and there is a temptation that Maya provides, that there is more money. So this Maya, so the Maya's job is that Maya will not let us to surrender to Krishna if that surrender is not pure enough. And Maya will not let us go away without surrendering to Krishna. Listen carefully. So the whole journey happens between those 2 points. The beginning of the tunnel and end of the tunnel is Maya will not let us to surrender to Krishna if that surrender is not pure enough, so that we don't bother Krishna. And at the same time, Maya would not let us go without surrendering to Krishna. So when somebody understands this, if this is the game of the rule of the game, and those great rishis and munis of the yesteryears, and they gave up the other ashramas and varnas and went for tapasya, let's surrender to Krishna directly. So there is no option to surrender for a living entity. So that when one understood, just like Sanatan Goswami asked the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why I am suffering, and those subtle details comes through these. So here the Grihastha, especially in Kali Yuga, is captured by the phantasmagoria, like Srila Prabhupada says, the sparkling, glittered, useless gifts of Maya. We are so captivated by that, and we are eventually throwing away the diamond. So, as for the economic development, we that should be left to the 25% of the society, as Srila Prabhupada explained, and that is only for the householders and Vaishyas, especially, because they are meant to develop the economy. So the Brahmana Grihasthas, here Prabhupada explained that they should do 4 things at least. And he explained Adhyayana, Adhyapana. They should study scriptures and they should teach those scriptures to others so that they develop the scholarly abilities to understand the Shastric injunctions. And Yajna and Yajana. So they should worship Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, and they should teach others how to worship the Supreme. So they should not accept any remuneration. They should not do any of these things for money, but they have the right to go for begging. Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are not allowed. Kshatriyas cannot go for begging. A Brahmana can go on begging. And here Srila Prabhupada says, a Brahmana can take charity from his pupil, his students whom he trained as a Guru Dakshina, but not from anybody and everybody. So again, there is a lot of limitations. So the Kshatriyas, as Prabhupada explained, they should be the rulers of the land. And the reason in Kali Yuga that there are no Kshatriyas ruling any country at all. No, in all the countries on this planet, there was no well-trained Kshatriya sitting in power and ruling the kingdom. They are all, because they are untrained, and everybody is so restless and suffering so much. So a Kshatriya is supposed to be the king of the land, and what is his job? He should distribute that land to the Vaisyas. So the capitalist economy is not what originally envisioned by Varnashram Dharma. So the Vaishyas should take that slice of land given by the king and develop that using the Sudras and support the other Varnas and Ashramas. So, and Srila Prabhupada explained the Sudras also must work. And Prabhupada also said, Kalau Sudra Sambhaha, in Kali Yuga, everybody is a Sudra. So a Sudra cannot live without a master, and he should always continue to work from one job to another job. So Prabhupada here explains the complexities with a stress on Ugra Karma. This is very important and probably the most important point that I want to highlight today is that most of us work in technology. Here Prabhupada comments that at the present moment, however, everyone is engaged in technological advancement, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as Ugra Karma. So this is a warning shot to all of us. So because it is Ugra Karma, what it takes extremely severe endeavor. So just like me, some of you may be working extremely long hours. If we resist that extremely long hours, we are kicked out of the job. Just to feed some milk into the mouth and some food grains. So we are working like an ass. That is how the society is going towards. So this is this verse he is telling us we are not meant for that. If we go down this path, our spiritual life is compromised. So and how it is compromised, and Prabhupada wonderfully and beautifully explains here. This Ugra karma is the cause of agitation within the human mind. So we cannot stay peacefully. When engaged, so what is the result? Because there is no peace. And the soul is always seeking pleasure. The soul cannot exist restless. So the people who are involved in these Ugra karma, they look for a relief in unlikely place. And those unlikely places are the sinful activities. And thus they become degraded. And though the degradation takes the form of slaughterhouses, breweries, cigarette factories, and nightclubs. Sense gratification. So Krishna consciousness, if somebody asks you, what is Krishna consciousness? In 2 slokas, Srimad Bhagavatam explains. The first one, which I already explained, that Atha Pumbir Dvijasreshta Varnasrama Vivagasaha Swanishtitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. That is the goal. So the other sloka, same canto, same chapter, 1 to 6. It is explained, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radokshade Aheitiki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasidhyate. So in the previous sloka, it is explained that the goal is to please the Supreme, Hari. And how Hari should be pleased is explained in the later verse. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radokshade Aheitiki Apratihata. You know, with no ulterior motives. Aheitiki apratihata, continuous. With that devotional service must be uninterrupted and uncontaminated. Means no material motives behind it. When we do the devotional service with the twin goals, no material motives and continuous without any interruption. When we please Hari, Haritoshanam, then that is the perfection of life. So that is what Krishna consciousness is. That is what Srila Prabhupada explains here. 75% of the society must be trained to do this, and which is called Devi Varnasram Dharma, and only 25% of the society must support the 75% in order to execute this mega project. And there is nothing else that the society, human society, should aspire for. If we don't do that, this sloka, it is explained what is called Gruhamedi. When somebody trespasses these boundaries, the limitations explained here, and they get into the waters of sense gratification, and that is called Gruhamedi. And the difference between Gruhastha and Gruhamedi is Gruhastha is sense controlled within that ashrama. Gruhastha ashrama is not a license for sense gratification, even though between that man and woman, he is thoroughly and severely regulated sense gratification. Sense gratification is allowed in a very severely regulated, restricted format between that man and woman within Grihastha ashram. When that is broken, the same husband and wife are called Gruhamedis. And that is the danger of falling into that Gruhamedi trap that will generate karma. So in order to either enjoy or suffer for that karma, the sadhaka, the practicing devotee, has to take many more lifetimes. So unregulated sense gratification within Grihastha ashram is very severe mistake. So the soul is originally filled with prema, and it is always filled with prema. But when it comes into the three modes of material nature, that prema is covered, and because of that covering, the kama exhibits. And when that lust, material lust for the senses, is executed, that is Gruhamedi. So that's all I want to say today, proposition Mataji. This is a very soul-searching, self-revealing shloka. I would like to take any questions if somebody would like to ask. Dandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Firstly, thank you for coming and joining this call and giving us Bhagavatam class. It's a little early. Some of them may not know that class has started. I hope they'll hear the recording later. This verse, Prabhuji, definitely is one of the important verses like you have quoted, and the aspect of difference between Grahamedi and Grahastha was never known to me until I came to ISKCON. I thought Grahastha word is applicable for everybody who's married. So it is definitely something something new for many, I'm sure, on the call as well. Prabhuji, as you said, we are in the technology world, and moving forward, almost everything is technology. Every profession is going to be having a large part of its work associated with technology. So, and you said it's Ugra Karma. For clear understanding, how it becomes Ugra Karma, Prabhuji, if you can explain how technology is Ugra Karma. Like somebody can say that it is coding, it is thinking process, it is knowledge driven work. How it is Ugra Karma?
Let's read what Srila Prabhupada said. At the present moment, however, everyone is engaged in technological advancement, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as Ugra Karma, extremely severe endeavor. So, when Srila Prabhupada was explaining the original Varnashram Dharma way of life, he said, men should go out into the agricultural fields, take care of the cows and the agriculture, and probably some business, Vaishyas, transacting those grains or the precious metals. There is various types of organic, natural, environment-friendly businesses that can be executed during the daytime. And Srila Prabhupada said that is only for 6 hours per day. So after 6 hours, the person comes home, spends some time with wife and children and parents and serves them. And then immediately after that, he goes to a temple, he goes to meet his spiritual master, he goes to meet his Guru Bhai and Guru Bahans. And if it is a Mataji, she goes and meets her, counterparts, Guru Bahan and Guru Bhais, so her spiritual master, like that. And start listening about Krishna glories, chanting, singing, and all those things, right? So 6 hours of work, and the rest of the 18 hours is spent towards thinking, meditating, and taking some little rest. But now it is called Ugra Karma is because we are allowed to sleep only 3-4 hours. And I don't know whether the industry, the line of business you are working, or many of you are working, is as severe as I explained. But I know, especially in banking and investment and trading and all those platforms, and especially healthcare, we may not need, we don't need to be a surgeon or on-call support. But even if we are a technical support for medical systems, you are 24/7 on the call. They can disturb at any time. They can wake you up from the sleep. So in the banking domain where the money is transacting, that is pretty common, Prabhuji. 18 hours a day is pretty common, which I have been living through. And I can speak for that for quite a long time. So it is Ugra Karma because it doesn't leave any energy after we shut down our machine and get back to the family. There is no energy even to read Srila Prabhupada's books. So because it is Ugra Karma is because it is taking us away from practicing our Krishna consciousness. So there are many people who are frustrated with this because of these software, especially technology areas, and they become farmers. And they left their jobs from in Europe. They left their jobs in North America. They went back to India, bought like 2, 3, 4 acres, and started the organic farming. Those who could not able to take it anymore, those who have strong faith that they can, they will be happy by going back to these Varnashrama systems. So because the soul is not meant to work like this. I hope I answered your question, bro.
Yes, Prabhuji. So it's the over and over aspect and lack of time for spiritual practice is what you call as Ugra Karma.
And I have initiated the devotees and my own God brothers, Prabhuji, and who are in Charlotte and who work for banks. And they have 8 to 5, even on Saturdays and Sundays, and speaking to their managers on weekends and working every weekend. So that is Ugra Karma, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji, having known that we are performing Ugra Karma, it doesn't look like there are many choices around. The solution for this is to improve our sadhana and to stay associated, but that also looks to be very difficult.
No, first of all, the result for this Ugra Karma is greediness, Prabhuji. So if I have only 10,000 rupees in my pocket, I can only buy a bicycle. But my greediness grew up to buy a BMW. That's what I want with 10,000 rupees. So with that 10,000 rupees, I buy a visa, come to US and work like an ass so that I can gather money to buy a BMW. That is Ugra Karma. But if I am intelligent enough, I will be happy with those 10,000 rupees buying a bicycle. So greediness is the first part, Prabhuji. We have to address that. And addressing that greediness, if somebody is a brahmachari, is very easy. But if that so the house, it can be husband or it can be wife, and children. And the children may want alternate lifestyle. So that brings additional variables into the landscape of economy, technology, and false prestige. One should be firmly established in the teachings of Shastra. Stick to it. So that is the reason I said, Maya will not let us to surrender Krishna unless we are sincere, completely sincere. And at the same time, Maya will not let us go out without surrendering to Krishna. So she keeps us bouncing back and forth between these two walls.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one aspect here, see, we are, most of us are involved in IT, and most of our children also might get into directly or indirectly into IT. And definitely money is there. Money can be seen, it can be felt, big money is there. Like for an outside person to earn 1 lakh a month is very difficult, but for IT engineer, just sitting and making 1 lakh. Now he becomes intelligent as to what you said. At least he will try to lead a simple life, but he keeps accumulating that money, right? That keeps coming. Either if he's not spending it, he's accumulating it. And when he keeps accumulating it, at certain point of time, having so much bank balance or properties behind, his dependence on Krishna goes down, because he starts thinking, I'm very secure now. That is what money does.
Yes.
So how do you deal with that accumulated money? I mean, how the greed, one is greed aspect, one other is the sheer money itself, like the throne of money.
So that is the reason association is important, Prabhuji. Continuous reading of Srila Prabhupada's books and listening from higher authorities who have renounced. For example, His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. So anybody in this call today is more rich than what Giriraj Swami Maharaj was. When he was 18 years old, 19 years old in India, his father came to his place, I believe, Bombay, and told him that I will give you $2 million just to leave this temple and come back home. That was way back in 1970s. Just to leave the temple and back to his home. Multi-millionaire. And he was living in, to the life standard he was having with his father, family, was living in poverty, but he was blissful. There are many like that. What is our wealth, Prabhuji? Few lakhs rupees, a couple crore rupees. That is false ego, Prabhuji. And the Guru will trample it down. As we take shelter at the lotus feet of Guru will, this is what helps me, Prabhuji. What is the strength that we derive from money, or the position that we hold in a particular organization at employment, is like you take a water bottle and stand before a ocean, Atlantic Ocean or a Pacific Ocean. Are we proud of our water contained in the water bottle, or are we overwhelmed by the immense size and volume of the water in the ocean? That is Krishna, Prabhuji. Ocean is Krishna. When we come to that realization, whatever our bank balance may be, we will kneel down.
Thank you.
We are humble.
Yeah, any other questions? You can unmute yourself and ask.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. I posted a question in the chat, but I'll repeat it here. Prabhuji, I'm just looking for the practicality of this situation, because our parents didn't do any farming, or we are not even qualified, or we don't know how to do it. We're kind of trapped in this kind of situation of whatever job we are doing. And practically, how do we follow this, Prabhuji? I'm still not able to understand, in this Ugra Karma or whatever jobs we are doing.
Again, Prabhuji, some are very custom specific. So I'm doing this virtually. Some of those answers can be given by Lelanand Prabhu or a local guide based on their personal situation. But what I can explain is the general context of it. What the Acharya says in general, that is applicable for everybody. Okay? So these are the gods. If we are driving on a cart road to a hilly station, what we should first ensure is not to fall out of the cliff. So these are the guardrails, general guardrails. So those are, as Rupa Goswami said, over endeavoring, atyahara prayasacha. Over endeavoring will kill the appetite for practicing devotional service. There is absolutely no doubt about it. 100%, you lose the taste. So Srila Prabhupada explains, it is a choice between Krishna or Maya. If you are not with Krishna, you are with Maya. Period. So we cannot be with Krishna and Maya at any time. We can be either with Krishna or Maya, and there is no other choice. So every time we make a choice which is not Krishna. Immediately we should understand it is Maya. So yes, there are. I know personally, Prabhuji, there are some very well qualified. Some of my friends from IIT and other IITs that I met, and they came to US and they did the masters, PhDs, MBAs, and remained brahmacharis and took initiations and did exalted jobs, probably very influential roles, and they saved money, just like Lenanand Prabhu said. Every paycheck is, for an ordinary person, it is really envious paycheck. That much amount of money it brings into your checking account. So they saved that money. Just first 5 years, 6 hours, resigned that job, joined full time to temple. This is the beauty of brahmacharya. For men, marriage is an option. So somebody who is intelligent, if they can control the senses, Prabhuji, those who understood, if somebody read Srimad Bhagavatam or Garuda Purana, some of these things, or Bhagavad Gita under a guru, they, all the intelligent people remained brahmachari. Anybody, Prabhuji, anybody who is qualified to get married, they decided to stay brahmacharis. So those who cannot control senses, they entered into the Grihastha ashram because they cannot control the senses. And they entered into the Grihastha ashram, and since then the senses are out of control. There is no Grihastha, it is Gruhamedi. So then we enter into Grihastha ashram and say, my wife is behaving like this, my husband is behaving like that. It is true. If they are sense controlled, they would not even marry. Right? So the whole background for marriage is because they could not able to control their senses. And so there is limitations. There is a legalized control and there is out of control control. So there is a legalized control they call Grihastha, and totally out of control they call Gruhamedis. And in Kali Yuga, there is no, how many people we find in our own movement, we find good sample of Grihasthas, but practically, keeping up with Grihastha ashram itself is so difficult, probably. The rules and regulations of Grihastha ashram itself is very difficult.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. I don't know, Prabhuji, whether I answered your question or not, but I can go a little more deep, but this is a very sensitive topic, Prabhuji. Grihastha and Gruhamedi. But I don't know. There are a lot of people on this call, but if I say anything, probably I don't know how it will be received on the other end.
Most of them who are there are 16 rounders, Prabhuji. So you can share. But the truth is truth, as you said. Sometimes it's hard to accept it, but the truth is yes. I felt that at one point you were hesitant to put a percentage there, but I can put a percentage. 99% are in that boat. Where we are thinking that we are Grihasthas. No, really. I mean, I'm seeing practically, but yes, that 1% is still the hope. 1% is still the hope.
So when I was reading about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he says that why he remained Grihastha. Somebody asked him why he remained brahmachari, and he said that if I can marry and have Krishna conscious children as per the teachings of the Shastra, I would have married, but I can't. So that's the reason I stayed out of the Grihastha ashram. This is the Naistika Brahmachari, Prabhuji. What Srila Prabhupada said, Simha Guru. So if Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that, so what does that imply, Prabhuji? So the present economy allows us to have only 2 children, not more than 2 children. That means the sense gratification is allowed only twice in that married life. So does anybody go through this much of pain for just 2 encounters? This much of suffering in Grihastha ashram? So those who understood, they stayed out of the marriage life. They remained brahmacharis, took sannyas or vanprasth. So that is express route, like the Acharya said, from brahmacharya all the way straight, go through the no exits, go through sannyas ashram. We can become avadhutas.
Prabhuji,
But
Prabhuji-
yes,
yeah, go ahead, Prabhuji. Sorry.
yes. No, but Prabhuji, Krishna is merciful. At the end of the day, He Krishna Karuna Sindho, Denabandho, Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namastude. So we, when we hear about Nitya Siddha, Sadhaka Siddha, and Krupa Siddha, the bright spot is Krupa Siddha, right? We depend on his mercy rather than the perfection of our sadhana. Of course, very few people are Nitya Siddhas like Srila Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But everybody else has to follow between Sadhaka Siddha or Krupa Siddha. Sadhaka Siddha in Kali Yuga, can anybody perfect their sadhana and become Sadhaka Siddha? Very doubtful. And everybody is probably Krupa Siddha. So we all depend on his causeless mercy.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
I have a question, Prabhuji. If someone wants to earn more money or increase his standard of living for performing any devotional service, because Grihastha is supposed to support the other 3 ashramas, and brahmacharis and temples look towards Grihastha from the point of view of donations. So is it greediness or atyahar? Then Ugra Karma is better from donations point of view also, because that pacifies our minds that we are earning much, so we can donate also. It is better than less earning Grihasthas who cannot support other ashramas also, Prabhuji. And what about if women helps in supporting the financial, because that way also if both are earning, then the donations point of view also we can like happily we can donate and satisfy our minds that see we are earning so much, so we are doing so much for the society or for devotional service. So how do you classify it? Sorry
So
if I'm
somebody
asking
asked
some
this.
question.
Somebody asked this question to my Guru Maharaj Mataji. And he replied that, many Grihasthas think like this. But over the years, what my Guru Maharaj noticed was the Grihasthas kids are getting bigger and bigger toys. And the Grihastha devotees are buying bigger houses. Their cars are becoming bigger. But the donations are not coming into the temples. So, that was his realization and monitoring several, I would say, couple thousand temples across all 5 continents of the planet. And he has several thousand disciples at various stages of their life. And everybody starts with this notion that I will work extremely hard and I will start this company, do that company and make $1 million, and I will take this check and put at my at the lotus feet of my Guru, and I want to see his smiling face. And will that day ever come? I do not know any of that. My Guru Maharaj also said that day probably will not come for many. So, but we will get trapped into that. Rather than making your own conclusions, my own conclusions, it is important that we have to consult our Guru. if that is the path we need to take. That is the reason Krishna has given us a guru. So if you are in a particular unique spot in your career where you have 90% opportunity to make probably $10 million in next 20 days and give all that money to the temple, probably your guru would say yes. And how many of us are in that spot? So those are Maya's tricks, Mataji. Assuming that our unclean desires and unpractical. The problem here is underestimating the power of Maya. How much she can distract us from devotional service.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. This is Lalit Mohandas, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this is regarding, what to say that Daivi Varnashrama part, Prabhuji. Because this Daivi Varnashrama also includes the social aspect. Daivi is a personal aspect, but Varnashrama includes the social aspect, Prabhuji. And in that, what you say, purport, Prabhupada says that this is the one of the goal of Krishna consciousness. So, Prabhuji, what actually guidelines did Prabhupada give us regarding this social aspect? Because Prabhuji, in our history, we have seen because of lack of this social fabric properly, it has been plundered. Our country, this land has been plundered many times.
The Varnashram Dharma, Prabhuji, in Kruta Yuga, the Varnashram Dharma was Daivi Varnashram Dharma. Even though there were demons on outer space and the battles happening between the Devatas and the Danavas, but there was those are physically separate. And in Treta Yuga, they were living in other countries. Dwapara Yuga, they were living in separate places in the same country. In Kali Yuga, they were living in the same body. Okay? So, Daivi Varnashrama was compromised even in Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga, not to say in Kali Yuga. Because Dharma was not on 4 padas in Treta and Dwapara and Kali Yugas. For example, Ravana. Ravana was a born Brahmana. And he compromised. He became a demon because he did not accept Hari. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Atah Pumbir Dvijashreshta Varnasrama Vagasah Swanishthitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. The single most goal is to bow down your Ravana's head at Ram's lotus feet. And he did not do that. So that's the reason in Treta Yuga it was compromised. And in the Dwapara Yuga it was much more compromised. In Kali Yuga it is everywhere. So the social aspect, Prabhuji, what Prabhupada said, and actually there is a complete book on this Varnashram Dharma, how Prabhupada wanted to establish Varnashram Dharma, farm communities, especially a lot more in number than what actually happened. And I believe there are a couple of his own disciples did extensive research on farming and between Varna and Ashrama and the interdependence of Varna and Ashrama, and they published that book. And so some of the details of that is this Varnashram Dharma outside our devotee community is beyond repair, Prabhuji. We cannot resurrect the Daivi Varnashram Dharma outside. But within devotee community, because we are mentally disciplined enough, and there are proper checks and controls on top of us. There is a guru and there is a parampara system. There is an institution that controls our line of thought. Because of these controls, our emotions are controlled. So it is much more easy for us to obediently follow these instructions of higher authorities. For example, if you take Naxalism, the Naxalism is because of their enviousness towards Manu. So coming into Varnashram Dharma, we just bow down and accept that. And I have God brothers and I have devotee friends who are favorable to the Naxalist ideas before. And when they came and became devotees here, they were explaining how that transformation took place, how big it was, such a big mental transformation that their faith system, Prabhuji. Now coming to your point, Prabhuji. The most difficult in our sadhana is altering our faith system, giving up our own concocted personal ideas and accepting the total package of Bhagavad Gita in our life, the guidance provided by Bhagavad Gita. Chaturvarnam maya srastam gunakarma vibhagasaha. Based on guna and karma, somebody is called a Brahmana. Now, Srila Prabhupada said, everybody who has taken initiation and chanting Harinam in our society, he is a Brahmana. Because this ISKCON is meant to train us in Brahmanical way of life. It does not mean we became Brahmanas, but we are getting training in Brahmana. And acting like a Brahmana is extremely difficult, Prabhupada. Very, very difficult. Even Dronacharya struggled to exhibit Brahmanical qualities, even though he was the son of one of the Saptarishis, Bharadwaj Muni. In earlier yugas, just imagine, Prabhuji, Dronacharya was born without a mother. His birth was extremely pure, and his guru was Parashuram, and his father was Bharadwaj Muni. And he was extremely powerful. There are practically one or two people in this whole universe who can defeat him in the battlefield. And even that person struggled to control and exhibit his Brahmanical qualities at times, because he was entangled in the royalties of Kuru's family. So it is difficult, probably. That is the reason, we are not very much attracted by Brahmanism, but we are attracted to Vaishnavism, which is beyond Brahmanism. So regardless of our birth, what we are interested in is chanting the holy names of Hari, pleasing Guru, and serving the Vaishnavas. So the social aspect of it is probably the challenge here is even within devotee communities, many times it becomes very challenging to keep up with the anarthas of other devotees. With limited time, with a full-time job and a family to support, we have limited time to work upon our own anarthas. And each one of these anarthas are like Everest for us. And each one of us know, we don't need to explain to anybody else. And we make inch by inch progress every day. And when can we reach the top, probably? And there are so many of them. And then imagine you are living in a social aspect, as you said. So you have a group of people, either within your own family or within your own Vaishnava Sangha, and they have similar type of, overwhelming anarthas carrying with them. And when we go so close and associating so narrowly with them without understanding, so the shadow of their anarthas, the overlap will fall upon us, and we are not trained to handle that, and the conflicts happen. So it is very sensitive. The social aspect is very sensitive, probably. That is the reason we need a guru. We need a guru who can control our emotions and keep us on the path of Krishna consciousness, and so that we can focus on listening to the mantra that we are chanting. So what happens is, if we are not able to control these emotions, we will continue to chant, but we cannot hear the mantra.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, yeah, Lalit Mohan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Audible, Prabhuji?
Yeah, so Prabhuji, I wanted to comment on something and repeat something that I heard, and maybe then you can explain, Prabhuji. Is once I was hearing from Radha Gopinath Prabhu, one of the staunch brahmacharis in our movement, that when he joined the ashram, he was standing in front of the deities, and he felt that his chanting is still not perfect. Then he realized that he had 60 rupees in his pocket, which he still did not put in the hundi. So then he removed that. He put that because he felt if I don't get toothpaste, I'll buy toothpaste with that 60 rupees. And then he put that 60 rupees, and then he said, "I've surrendered to Krishna." So his brahmacharya life, was totally. He said that it really helped giving up everything that I had before I joined the ashram. So that is one side of it. At the same time, I also hear the quote from Prabhupada, which says. Uh, that husband, it's a daily quote that comes from Prabhupada along with the calendar, where it says that husband says, "I want to take sannyas." Wife shouts, "You fool, you have to marry your daughter, marry your son, where will you go?" And then he says, "Okay, I'll marry them." Then he says, "I want to go to sannyas." She says, "No, who will take care of the after responsibilities?" So then Prabhupada says, "This is Maya." Householder is thinking that he is actually the owner of the house, but he is the endless servant who is never allowed to go out. He is continuously has to serve. And the last thing that I wanted to reflect upon and add is when I was hearing from Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj, who actually gets very heavy on this topic. Many times I've heard his lectures very, very heavy. Jay Advait Swami Maharaj, when he came to Chowpatty, I think 3 or 4 years back, he gave a length of lectures on this. And he told the biggest problem in our society is people are not retiring. They don't want to retire. Even after 50, 60, they sit there and they give reasons that I have to support my family. And that is one of the main reasons that our ISKCON as a movement also is not growing, because there are no Vanaprasthas to actually come and run the organization. Vanaprasthas bring so much experience onto the table because they have dealt with materialists, they have dealt with so much complexities in life, but they're not retiring. So I don't know where to conclude out of these three things, a brahmachari's perspective, a sannyasi's perspective, and of course Prabhupada's perspective. But I felt the retirement aspect was very alarming. He said, last thing I'll repeat is he said, ideally, when you're getting into an ashram, you should already have a plan of exit. That is when you should get into the ashram. So when you're getting into Grahastha ashram, did you all have a plan of what is your exit? Exit doesn't have to be that you have to leave your wife and go, but it has to be getting close to the temple, taking up more services and retire. At some point, retire and say that I'm done. Now I'm going to work full time for Prabhupada. And how much money do you need to retire is something, again, that people hold on to. I have 50 lakhs, I have 1 crore, now I'll retire. I have 2 crores, I'll retire. But that insecurity always keeps popping up, that what happens if I finish those, and what happens if I don't survive. So even the retirement option, many people don't take that risk. And probably yesterday we had a class by His Grace Sitaram Prabhu. I don't know if you know him. He is one of the grahasthas in very young grahasthas who joined the ISKCON Juhu, and and is also part of the Hyderabad Temple Management Committee now. He is like a co-temple president. Very unique grahastha. That he and his wife are in Mayapur. 4 children are in Gurukul, and for him there is nothing else except ISKCON. There is no retirement. He is already into it. And it's been more than 20 years he's living that kind of life. He says, I don't need to buy a house. I don't need a house in my name. Nothing is going to come with me. I find a rent. If somebody gives me a place to stay, I stay. So very extreme end. We have seen yesterday. Actually, a lot of people in the call were bewildered looking at his level of surrender and the way he's, contributing to ISKCON. And today, surprisingly, you picked up this verse back to back. Like after yesterday, Krishna is passing some message to all of us. I don't know how is the sequence. So this is what I want to reflect to. Anything you want to comment on what I just told, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have one thing to share that I heard from Radhesham Prabhuji. He told the concept of keeping body and soul together, to endeavor just so much so that we should keep our body and soul together, is slightly misunderstood. How we should understand it is, we should endeavor so much so that our devotional lives goes on without any hindrance. So that much we can endeavor. So can you just elaborate, or if you want to say something on this?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I did not hear that lecture, but body and soul, yeah, you know, I think that is a, yeah, you know, the import of keeping body and soul together is that we get because this body is the property of Guru and Krishna, and we have to take care of that body so that it won't get disease and won't become a bad example for anybody. That if somebody becomes a devotee like us, so he will you know he will mistreat the body, and you know we will become a bad, instead of becoming a good example to inspire others, we will become a bad example. Okay, so that is that becomes a disservice. So and you know, Prabhupada himself personally took care of his own devotees when they fell sick. So taking health care is important. So, but the goal is probably right. Even in sannyasa, when somebody wants to take sannyasa, there are 4 orders in sannyasa. The first one is called Kutichaka, second one is Bahudaka, and the third one is Parivrajaka, and the fourth one is Paramahamsa. So Kutichaka means the person was in householder life for so long, and he was supported by many family members, and taking the vows of sannyasa ashram, severe sannyasa ashram vows is very difficult for that person. So the system organically, gradually let that soul to take sannyasa steps. Now, that is the reason Kutichaka, Kutir means still, even though that person may not be living in his farmer house, but he will take up a place outside, some Kutir, but he still can get food from his old place, from his family, until he develops that complete independence from his family support. Even though that is not for a long time, but it is still allowed in the very early stages. Then Bahudaka. Bahudaka means, that is where your question comes. To keep the body and soul together. To keep the body and soul together, so the sannyasi who has become comfortable, yes. Now I lived my 40 years, 50 years with my wife, kids, and parents. You know, I took sannyasa, Kutichaka. In Kutichaka ashram, I was living for 2 years now. So now I am not disturbed anymore. So now I can lead by myself without the support of my earlier home, so-called home. So then the person in Bahudaka, he can start begging from going house to house. Just imagine if that person came from a millionaire, very rich, powerful, all these. It is very, you know, it is emotionally, egoistical. It is very difficult to just on the day one. He can take a begging bowl and start going into house begging and begging. The system allows him some time, gives him some time, so that he can gradually adjust. So in Bahudaka stage, when that sannyasa enters Bahudaka stage, he stops taking any support from his farmer home, and he starts begging from anything other than his home, any other house. Bahudaka, many houses, but not his own. And in Parivrajaka, he completely depends on Krishna. Just like last class I said, the Avadhuta Brahman, right? So whatever comes his way, he just accepts. He completely depends on Krishna and whatever Krishna provides. If somebody provides food, he eats prasad. Otherwise, he simply sits and keeps chanting. So that is the lot more surrender, like Leelanand Prabhu was saying, you know. So Krishna doesn't see how much you are giving to him, but how much you are holding back. The surrender is not calculated if you are giving $1 million and keeping $10 million in the your bank book. Krishna sees your bank book and see what is the balance. If that balance is zero, then you are surrendered, right? So it is you can say inversely proportional, right? So we have to completely give up our own egoistic ideas that I need to support myself or I can support myself. From that stage to Krishna will support me like he takes care of all living entities because he is a Supreme Father. Yesterday was Father's Day. And for me, it is Father's Day today. Krishna takes care of it. Prabhupada asked, did you ever had some elephant, some horse, or something died in a jungle with no food? No, not at all. Because Krishna provides them food, whether they eat meat or do not eat meat. Krishna provides them the food. But the problem comes, the food scarcity and all these things comes because of the greediness. So we have to reverse engineer and purify our greediness, and that is what is keeping the body and soul together. So eventually the goal is Haritoshnam, Prabhuji. But you know, do you want to jump right on the day one to that? It will be extremely difficult for men. So we have that story in Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranjaya. So Puranjaya was a Vedic king, and he had all that good training. And what he did was, one day he left his wife and everybody, kingdom and all those things. He walked into jungle and started doing tapasya, but he could not able to control his attractiveness towards his wife. And everybody going through that jungle, coming from his kingdom and palace, he was stopping everybody and asking, how was Maharani? How was my wife? How was my wife? How was my wife? So he couldn't able to renounce his relationship with his wife. And eventually he came back to the palace and fell at the feet of his wife and asked for begging. And Prabhupada comments that he fell at the feet for sexual favors. And the result was he had so many children after that. And one day in his latter part of the life, when he was out of the town, and he saw right before his eyes, his entire palace was burnt to ashes. And all his family, children, everybody died. And because he was so attracted to his wife, so attached to his wife, in his next life, he was born as a woman. So taking care of the body and soul together, all these things is more, probably the bhakti is the process of purifying those attachments. We have to understand love and attachments. Everybody, I love my wife, but I don't need to be attached to my wife. That's what Krishna consciousness teaches. Pandita Samadarshinaha, just like Krishna, he loves the ant, he loves the elephant, he loves the snake, he loves everybody. He loves Indra. So it does not mean attachment means if we come to the point that I cannot live without my wife, that is detrimental to our spiritual progress. That we need to purify. That is what Krishna consciousness means. Krishna consciousness purifies that attachment. That's what Puranjaya tells us. So otherwise, that life becomes Gruhamedi. Right? There is another story where this Saubhari Muni, he was doing tapasya in the waters of Yamuna, and the Garuda is coming fishing, because Garuda is allowed to fish and eat fish. He was the personal carrier of Vishnu. And when he saw the Garuda taking away the fish from the Yamuna waters, because he was egoistic at the time, he cursed Garuda not to come anywhere close to the place where he was doing tapasya under the waters, because Garuda was a personal servant of Krishna directly, and he was a great Vaishnava. So because of that Vaishnava offense, this Saubhari Muni had to undergo a lot of difficulties. And those difficulties is because even though he was underwater there doing tapasya, one day he saw a male fish and female fish were uniting, and he was disturbed. And he went under the water to do tapasya because he doesn't want to see those pictures on the land. But even within water, he could not able to resist. So he saw the male fish and female fish, and he came out of the water. He walked to the king's palace, and he said, "I want to marry your daughters." And he married 50 princess. And from each princess he had totally, I believe he begot like 5,000 children, and he was so much involved in all the family affairs. And one day he saw that what I was doing before and what I am doing now, and he left everybody and went back to Yamuna again. That because he offended Vaishnava, Garuda. So the lesson here is attachment, probably. Bhakti Vinod Thakur, practically entire life, the last part he took sannyas, but he was a grihastha, probably. He did not ran away from his life. He had 10 children. He was perfectly harmonious because he never deviated from the principles of Krishna consciousness. We don't need to, if we can control those attachments. But keeping the body and soul together, the purpose is to Haridoshnam, as Radhashyam Prabhu said. The goal is so that we can serve Krishna better. Right? There was one time when, I believe in San Francisco temple, one day Prabhupada was walking, and all the brahmacharis were sleeping in the brahmachari ashram. And Prabhupada asked, "Where is everybody?" They were not even in temple hall, no kirtan, no worship. Nobody is disputing. Where is everybody? Everybody is sleeping. And he went and knocked at the brahmachari ashram and asked, "What are you doing?" "Prabhupada, we are all doing Ekadashi fasting. So we are so tired and we cannot do any service." And Prabhupada said, "Go and eat something and do the service." So this probably is the better answer to your question, Prabhuji. If we cannot fast and do service, so the better is eat and do service. But we cannot, we cannot be in a situation not to do service at all. That is not an option.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very nice explanation of what I heard. Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one quick question. The situation that we are in here, as a grihastha, is it because of our free will, or is it because of the Kalika is like this, or is it because of our past karma, Prabhuji? Out of these three, how do we, consider our situation?
The point where each one of us are on our material life is the natural progression of our desire tree, the desired material desires. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvam. So Krishna, he explains to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, but he gives much more clear answers to Uddhava after the battle of Kurukshetra. He went back to Dwarka. So devotional service is steady but slow, Prabhuji. You know, we don't become Paramahamsa immediately and rapidly. It takes time, and it takes many lifetimes based on the degree of our conditioning. So if I am a grihastha in this life and have so many material responsibilities, it is because of my conditioning, and that conditioning means you can probably call it as a karma, the results of what we did in the past. But Prabhupada said very beautifully. He said what is happening in this life is already decided because of our activities in previous lives. But what will happen in next life will be decided by how we practice Krishna consciousness. After we leave this body, are we going to continue this endless drama, or are we going to go back to Godhead? That will be decided by our sadhana and pleasing Guru in this life. So whatever is happening in this life, whether you are a grihastha, brahmachari, or brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, whatever it is, I don't know, Prabhuji, your background, but whatever it is because of whatever happened in the previous lives. That is what Prabhupada. Right.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This topic definitely is. Many have many questions, and I'm sure as you go forward in your life, there will be many more questions coming up. Can't be resolved at one go, but it's definitely a good direction to introspect where we stand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So, yes, Prabhuji. Akinchan Prabhu.
Prabhuji, most of the times what happens is, Prabhuji, in this Varna ashrama, most of the time the people get into the economic conditions also, right? Prabhuji, as you said in your example, that some of them earned for 5 years many $1 million or whatever, and then they joined as brahmacharis. Or some even planning planning now so that they can at the retirement life they can perform nice devotional service, and so they are bringing up the economic conditions, they are bringing up the social conditions, everything, right? So in that case also it has been planned, and they are getting into Krishna consciousness. So is that, can we do like that, probably? Is the whether they have the proper kind of consciousness or what?
Of course, Prabhuji. So when we take initiation from a guru, the guru takes in all the disciples, whether they are brahmacharis, grihasthas, or vanaprasthas, or sometimes he initiates sannyasis also into the higher sannyasas orders. So whether somebody is a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, sudra, he takes all 4 orders. So there was a beautiful story, Prabhuji. There was one boy, very young boy, walked to Gautam Rishi, and he said, "Oh Guru Maharaj, I want to take initiation from you." And Gautam Rishi said, "I will not accept anybody who is not a Brahmana." Because at that time, it is, that was something that he wanted to do. So just like Parsuram said, I will not take any disciples who was not a Kshatriya, something like that, right? So the Gautam Rishi said, go and find out from your parents whether you are a Brahmana or not. And the boy went to his mother and asked, who am I? I am a Brahmana, or who is my father? So the mother replied, I am a prostitute, and I don't know who your father is. So I don't know what Varna you belongs to. So the boy came back to Gautam Rishi and said that I don't know who my father is. My mother is a prostitute. So I don't know my Varna. And he bowed down before Gautam Rishi, and Gautam Rishi immediately told him that you are a Brahmana. A Brahmana is the one who will speak very straightforward. Right? Honesty is the symptom of a Brahmana, and he immediately initiated that Brahmana, or that boy. So it is this particular topic is very complicated, Rohit. Very, very complicated. But many of the answers will come through your sadhana. Like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, Harinam is everything. The more and more we depend on Harinam and completely hear what we are chanting, many of our questions are answered by Krishna within our heart as Chaitya Guru. The same Bhagavad Gita sloka we studied 3 million times before. And when we read one more time, that reveals that depth of realizations that by the mercy of Krishna, your questions will be answered. So I don't know whether I answered your question or not, Prabhuji, but would you like to ask one more time if I did not?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
You're still on mute.
Hare
You're still on mute.
You're on mute, Prabhu. Akinjan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, I think you have answered, Prabhuji. I think what you're trying to say is, Prabhuji, if you chant properly, Krishna will reveal from the heart whether that kind of economic condition is required or not. That is what you are trying to say.
Yeah. Economic condition, Prabhuji, great kings who were wealthy became paupers. Pandavas, 2/3 of their life they lived in jungles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, while you were explaining, I was remembering a discourse of Gaur Govind Maharaj, one again stalled sannyasi in our movement, Gaur Govind Maharaj. So he was explaining how he took sannyas. I mean, obviously, Prabhupada gave him sannyas, but he was saying he was giving the credit to Nityanand Prabhu. He was saying we have to receive a kick of Nityanand Prabhu, then we'll come out and basically kick off a guru in coming by the mercy of Nityanand Prabhu. Then we can take that. Until then, we are all entangled. It's a what is that? Andakupam. He was saying it's like endless well. It's like endless well.
Yeah.
Sansara bija Andakupa. Forgetting that verse he quoted.
Prabhuji, let me say this. All these I want to make more money. I want to grow. I want to become great researcher. There is nothing wrong in it. But understand, all these material desires are the different forms of different manifestations of soul desire. Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj talks on this topic quite in depth, Prabhuji. These are all subtle forms of the same sex energy, which is antithesis of the prema that we have for Krishna. So it takes many folds, and translates into I want to become vice president of this company. I want to make $10 million money. I need this much money. These are all different permutations and combinations of the same sexual desire. So in this sloka today, actually, Prabhupada, repeats multiple times about that energy. Every time we unite with an opposite partner, other than the need for procreation, that is enviousness. That is enviousness towards Krishna. And that will take us back in the opposite direction from progress of our spiritual progress.
Yeah. So I think it's 8 o'clock here, Prabhuji. It's almost 10:30 for you there.
Yes, Prabhuji, I want to first of all my apologies to each and every one of you. I have a program increment planning tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and the day after 3 days. And the past 3 days I was sick with fever. But this is an important service for me, Prabhuji. I want to take this, but next class I will be on time, even though it is 9:40, next 9:40 Eastern time for me, but I will be joining that time, Prabhuji. But please excuse me for be 1 hour early, and I hope I served your lotus feet, and I am causing I am leaving some help so that you can probably make progress much more easily in your spiritual path.
Prabhuji, we are very grateful, Prabhuji. Really, we are very grateful that you are giving your association. Ekadashi is special because of you for us. We are doing a chanting in the morning, but we wait for the Bhagavatam class. I think it's a blessing in disguise. Krishna always a plan that you chose a topic which took more time, and we could hear more from you because you came early. So maybe that's also part of the blessing. So thank you, Prabhuji, for showering this Srimad Bhagavatam, reality in such a nice way. You being a Grahastha, we can relate to you. And I know your family, Prabhuji. You have a very able son, a very nice daughter, amazing, partner, Mataji, and how you have shown through your own example how we can lead a Grahastha life and still try to serve Krishna. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for coming and inspiring. Thank you. Srinivas Acharya Prabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So Prabhujis and Matajis, I'm sure a lot of rounds are left, and I'm sure the working day is going to start. So let's keep the Zoom call on. I can stop the recording, and we can finish our rounds maybe 1 more hour. Is that okay? Yeah, it's 8 o'clock, so 9 o'clock we can finish the round. At least minimum 16 rounds we can do. Today is Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi. You have more choice of doing more rounds, but it's a working day. It's a Monday. It's a Ugra Karma day of the industry. Monday. So try to finish your minimum rounds. I don't want you to leave without finishing rounds, and every round becomes. Amagaru, okay, 5 minutes answer, then mano immediate ga we'll get into the chanting. Yeah.
నిర్జల ఏకాదశి గురించి ఒక 2 minutes చెప్తారా?
నిర్జల ఏకాదశి అన్నది స్పెసిఫిక్ గా భీముడు గురించి చెప్పబడ్డది. ఏంటంటే అన్ని ఏకాదశిలు భీముడు తన జఠరాగ్ని చాలా ఎక్కువ భీముడికి, అంటే ఎప్పుడు నడుస్తూనే ఉంటుంది జఠరాగ్ని, ఎప్పుడు తింటూనే ఉండాలి. ఆ విధంగా పని కూడా చేస్తాడు భీముడు, అలా తిని కూర్చోడు. కానీ తనకి ఏకాదశి చేయడం చాలా కష్టం. అండ్ మిగతా అందరు పాండవులు ఏకాదశి చేస్తారు, కానీ భీముడు మాత్రం ఏకాదశి చేయలేడు. ఆ మాటకు వస్తే పెళ్ళైనప్పుడు కూడా ద్రౌపదికి కుంతి చెప్పిన విషయం ఏంటంటే సగం భాగం భీముడికి పెట్టు, మిగతా సగం నలుగురు పెట్టని చెప్తుంది. అప్పుడు ద్రౌపది షాక్ అవుతుంది, ఏంది ఇంత తింటాడా అని. అవును, అంత తింటాడు నీ భర్త, రెండో భర్తకు మాత్రం ఎక్కువ. సో ఆయన వల్ల కాదు, ఉపవాసం ఉన్నది కాదు. సో దానికి ఒక సొల్యూషన్ లాగా కృష్ణుడు భీముడికి ఏం చెప్తారంటే, సరే నువ్వు ఇన్ని ఏకాదశి చేయలేవు, మొత్తం 26 ఏకాదశిలో మొత్తం ఎన్ని ఉంటాయి ప్రభు? 26 25 ఉంటాయి, 26 అనుకుంటా. ఎస్,
24 అయితే
25 ఉంటాయి. ఓకే, వాట్ ఎవర్ ద నెంబర్, ఆ నెంబర్ కి అన్ని నువ్వు చేయకపోయినా సరే ఒక్క ఏకాదశి చేసినావు అంటే నీకు అన్ని ఏకాదశిలో పుణ్యం వస్తుందని చెప్తారు. సో ఈ ఒక్క ఏకాదశి పూర్తిగా నీళ్లు కూడా తీసుకోకుండా చేయగలిగితే నీకు దీని పుణ్యం అన్ని ఏకాదశిలో వస్తుంది, పుణ్యం వస్తుందని చెప్పారు. దానికి భీముడు ఈ ఒక్క ఏకాదశి భీముడు మాత్రం కంపల్సరీ చేస్తాడు. మనందరికి కూడా ఒక ఆపర్చునిటీ ఏంటంటే, ఏదో విధంగా ఏకాదశి కరెక్ట్ చేసామా చేయలేదా, త్రూఅవుట్ ద ఇయర్ మనం ప్రతి ఏకాదశి కరెక్ట్ పాటించామా పాటియలేదా అన్నది డౌట్ ఉంటే ఈ ఏకాదశి చాలా మంది చేయమంటారు. ఎందుకంటే ఇది కరెక్ట్ చేసామంటే మనకు అన్ని ఏకాదశిలో అయిన ఫాల్ట్స్ అన్ని ఏది ఉన్నా సరే దీని నుంచి కరెక్ట్ అయిపోతాయి అని అంటారు. At the same time, Mataji, నిర్జల ఏకాదశి అనేది చేయటం అంత సామాన్య విషయం కాదు. ఎస్పెషలీ ప్రాక్టీస్ లేకుంటే చేయలేము. ముందు రోజు దానికంటే ముందు రోజు చాలా తక్కువ తినాలి. చాలా మంది రేపు నిర్జల ఏకాదశి ఉన్నదని ఆ రాత్రి కూడా తినేస్తారు. అది మంచిది కాదు. అది దానివల్ల ఇంకా నీళ్ళు అవసరం వస్తుంది డైజెషన్ కోసం. సో మనం ప్రిపరేషన్ ఉంటుంది దీనికి. చేయడానికి మన బాడీ కూడా సహకరించాలి. అండ్ ప్రభుజీ వాళ్ళు చెప్పినట్టు ఒకవేళ నువ్వు మంచిలు తాగి ఎక్కువ రౌండ్లు చేస్తానంటే అది బెటర్. రాదర్ దాన్ నిర్జల ఏకాదశి చేసి ఇంకో 2 రోజులు బెడ్ మీద పడుకోవటం కంటే మీరు చేయండి, అందరూ చేయండి, అయినంత వరకు చేయండి. నేను చేశాను, చాలా సంవత్సరాలు చేశాను, కానీ ఇప్పుడు నా వల్ల కాదని నాకు అర్థమైంది. సో నేనైతే చేయట్లేదు నిర్జల ఏకాదశి. బట్ ఐ ట్రై టు రీడ్ మోర్, ఐ ట్రై టు చాంట్ మోర్ ఇఫ్ ఐ క్యాన్, అండ్ సమ్ సర్వీస్ ఐల్ టేక్ అప్. యా, సో అది నిర్జల ఏకాదశి. హరే కృష్ణ, హరి బోల్. So I'll keep on mute and we'll chant for 1 more hour. At 9 o'clock we can close the Zoom. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.